A heartwarming journey. Single dad discovers crying girl is a millionaire CEO's hidden daughter. The clouds hung low and heavy over Oakridge, threatening rain as Jack wrapped his hands around a warm cup of coffee, savoring the familiar smell of the local diner. It was an ordinary Tuesday, or so he thought, until he stepped outside into the brisk air, where his world tilted on its axis. His tight schedule of running his struggling auto repair shop and caring for his spirited 10-year-old daughter, Mia, left no room for unexpected surprises. Yet, just down the way, at the community center, he spotted a little girl standing all alone in the pouring rain, her face stained with tears. Jack's heart sank as he crossed the street, feeling the urgency propelling him forward. He kneeled beside her, his jacket soaked but warmth radiating through his eyes. "Hey there, sweetie," he whispered gently, "what's wrong?" The raindrops pattered against the pavement, echoing her quiet sobs as he pulled his jacket around her small frame. I'm lost," she stammered, her voice trembling, eyes wide with fear. Instantly, he felt that familiar pang of fatherly instinct harden in his chest. Here was a child in distress, and he would do everything to help her. In moments, they exchanged names. This was Lily. While ordinary kids rode their bikes or kicked around soccer balls, Lily spoke of a world that seemed miles away from the comforting simplicity of Oakridge. She revealed she was the daughter of Eva, the town's reputed CEO, someone known to everyone yet never truly seen. The revelation rocked Jack to his core. How could a mother ignore her child like this? And yet, here was Lily, desperate for love amidst the chaos of wealth. Jack wrestled with a choice that felt heavy as a storm cloud. Should he reach out to Eva, this cold-hearted woman who had turned her back on her roots, just to ensure he and Mia would be okay? Or should he protect Lily from the truths of her lineage, from the icy empire that seemed to consume her mother? As they sat under the awning of the diner, the rain still pouring down, neighbors began to trickle in, drawn by the sight of Jack comforting the little girl who had already captured their hearts. The diner sprang into action, rallying around Jack and Lily. Warm meals arrived, and the chatter filled the air with a sense of community, underscoring the American values they cherished. Here, they were family together, despite differences in the world outside, yet Jack's internal struggle gnawed at him. Privilege and hardship collided before him, making him indignant. The clock ticked as Jack made the brave decision to confront Eva. He needed to feel her response, to see if the mother could reconnect with her child. And as he approached her penthouse office, resolve flooded his veins. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Standing before the elegantly clad CEO glaring down at him, Jack felt the weight of two worlds colliding. And in that heated moment, layers of misunderstanding began to peel away. They were both battling their realities, yearning for connection, healing, and perhaps love. As emotions swirled, he glimpsed the truth behind Eva's empire, forged through sacrifices echoing his own struggles. But just as understanding seemed within reach, they both faltered in the face of their stark differences, leaving them to ponder whether they could forge a bond strong enough to bridge the chasm between class and family. What choices awaited them in the storm's wake? Would the threads of compassion weave their fates together or leave them stranded? The storm continued to rage, but beneath its fury, hope flickered, just waiting to spark a deeper change. Jack stood frozen, grappling with the weight of pending decisions. Eva's gaze was unreadable, her perfectly painted nails tapping rhythmically on her sleek desk. "What do you want?" she asked sharply, her tone laced with frustration and exhaustion. "I want to know how you could leave your daughter alone in the rain," Jack said, his voice steady but fatigue echoing the pent-up emotions swirling inside him. "She's just a child, Eva. Lily needs you." Eva's expression shifted. For a flicker of a moment, vulnerability danced across her features before her mask resurfaced. "Do you think I wanted this?" she shot back. "The pressure, my career, it's overwhelming." Her words hung in the air thick with resentment, the kind Jack understood all too well from his own sleepless nights. "Maybe you should step back and feel what she feels," Jack replied, taking a step closer, his determination tightening around him like a shield. "She's scared and alone. That's what really matters right now." Silence enveloped them, a momentary hush that consumed the busy office space. Jack could almost hear the storm outside mirroring the tempest inside Eva. He noticed the way her brows knitted together, battling memories that were never meant to surface tonight. And just like that, Jack saw the cracks in her armor, her lips parted slightly, the steady rise and fall of her chest betraying a deeper story. "I've sacrificed everything," she whispered, almost to herself. Regret settled in her tone, and Jack felt a flicker of compassion. "Lily just wants to know that you care," he pressed gently. "She needs a mother. Everything I do is for her." The words slipped out, heavy with the burden of an unfulfilled promise. "I wanted to secure her future, but right now, I feel like I've lost her completely." The world around them seemed to narrow as understanding bloomed, nuanced but powerful like an elusive sunlight piercing through the clouds. Jack's heart softened, breaking down his own barriers. Maybe they weren't so different after all. Before Jack could respond, a timid knock interrupted their conversation. The office door creaked open, and Mia poked her head in, glancing curiously around the unfamiliar room. "Dad?" she called, worry flashing across her face. "Is everything all right?" "Everything will be fine, honey," Jack reassured her, looking back to Eva, who remained captivated by the innocence of his daughter. Mia, sensing the tension, walked over to Jack instinctively. She tugged at his sleeve, then looked up at the luxurious surroundings, her big eyes reflecting naive wonder. "Who's this, Dad?" "This is Lily's mom," he said softly, hoping to tread lightly. "Eva, this is my daughter, Mia." "Hi," Mia smiled brightly, her innocence a stark contrast to the heaviness that filled the room. Her simple warmth seemed to break something within Eva. "Hi, Mia," Eva responded, her voice unexpectedly tender, marked by surprise. It was as if she were seeing the world through Mia's eyes for the first time. Jack held his breath, watching as a connection began to form, fragile yet real. But doubt crept back in. Would Eva truly change? Or would she slip back into the icy facade that built her empire? A shared glance exchanged between Jack and Eva left them both questioning their next move. A chance remained, but would they seize it? As the storm continued to brew outside, Jack anticipated their next steps. Would they face the challenges together? Or would they retreat back into their respective worlds, forever parted by choices and unspoken fears? The air thickened with possibility, and Jack realized the weight of this moment could alter their lives forever. Little did he know, the true storm was only beginning to unfold. Mia's innocent smile created a fragile bond in the room, softening the tension that had sat heavy like a storm cloud. Eva's gaze shifted, lost momentarily in the brightness of a child's unfiltered joy. It was a look Jack hadn't seen from her in years, a reminder of the woman he once knew before life pulled them into its relentless grind. "Mia, honey, would you like to sit down?" Jack asked gently, hoping to keep her close, protect her from the swirling emotions at play. Mia, as always, was oblivious to the weight of adult concerns and nodded enthusiastically before plopping onto a plush chair beside Jack. "I like your office," she chirped, looking around with wide-eyed wonder. "It's really fancy." The corners of Eva's mouth lifted slightly, a hint of warmth peeking through her stoic demeanor. "Thank you, Mia," she replied, genuinely taken aback. "It's not what it seems sometimes." Her voice carried a new softness, a gentle acknowledgement that life wasn't merely about appearances, something Mia clearly understood at her age. Jack observed the back-and-forth exchange, searching for any signs of thaw between Eva and the sweet child who had unknowingly become a bridge between their broken paths. But he still felt the unsteady ground beneath him, the shake of doubt creeping back in. What if Eva decided to retreat? So, Jack ventured, stepping carefully onto fragile ground. "How's Lily? Is she all right?" The mention of her daughter snapped Eva's focus back to him, and for a moment, Ivan could tell she was grappling with something deep. She's. Eva hesitated, searching for the words. She's struggling. I can see it every time I look at her. I thought by keeping myself busy, I could provide everything she needs. But now. Trails of realization washed over her features. I think it just made things worse. Jack's heart ached. You're not a bad mother, Eva. You're just lost. We can help each other find our way back. Mia's little voice piped up, can we have ice cream after this? Her innocent question broke the tension, and both adults exchanged brief smiles, the first real sense of connection amidst the brewing storm between them. Eva chuckled softly, shaking her head as if the mere thought of ice cream might lighten her burdens. I suppose I can take a break for ice cream, can't I? Jack couldn't help but feel hope swell inside him. This was the first time in so long he could almost see a clearer path forming in front of them. A shared moment, a chance to recalibrate their lives amidst the chaos. The sound of distant thunder rolled outside, yet the storm inside seemed to dissipate, replaced by a flicker of optimism. Jack leaned closer to Eva, intent on seizing the opening. If you really want to fix things with Lily, you have to be willing to fight for her. You can't just work on your career and leave her in the background. She met his eyes, and for the first time, there was a spark of understanding. I know, she whispered, her voice breaking slightly, but what if I fail? Maybe, he said, but what if you don't? What if you surprise yourself? As they stood on the precipice of a decision, the rain outside began to gently taper. Jack took a deep breath, daring to feel the weight lift, momentarily freeing him from fear and anxiety. Mia suddenly hopped out of her chair and darted to Eva's side. Can you be a part of our ice cream party? She asked, her earnestness making Eva's eyes glisten. It was just a simple question, but it hung in the air like a promise, the invitation to be present, to be involved. Eva looked at Jack, then back at Mia, taking in the innocent hope reflected in their faces. Just when it seemed like a resolution was growing, a sudden sound broke through, vibrating the walls, a phone ringing, harsh and demanding, pulling Eva back to her relentless world. Excuse me, she murmured, beginning to retreat, but Jack's heart raced as he watched her sway between her responsibilities and something she desperately yearned for. Would the ringing insistence of her obligations drown out the chance for connection? Could Mia's simple joy inspire the courage she lacked? Jack felt the storm build again inside him, preparing for the reality of their choices as they collided. Would Eva take a step toward the life she secretly longed for? Or would she allow her fears to dictate her fate again? He held his breath, waiting for the answer that could change everything. Mia's little face pinched in confusion as Eva turned toward the ringing phone, the soft glow of delight fading. But, the ice cream, she said, her brow furrowing just enough to mirror the worry creeping into Jack's heart. Jack glanced back at Eva, who was rooted in place, her expression one of conflict. The phone's insistence seemed to echo through the room, mixing with the fading patter of rain outside. He knew that noise, the weight of responsibility. It was the kind of static that would drown out the whispers of change if they let it. Eva, he interjected gently, trying to keep the moment alive, you don't have to answer it right now. Her eyes flickered between the phone and Jack, the choice painted on her face like a canvas of indecision. It might be work and I promised everyone I'd be reachable, she said, the air thick with tension. But maybe just for a minute you could be here? With us? His voice was careful, steadied by a newfound hope that they could find their way back together, even if it took just one honest moment. Mia wrestled with her untouched fingers on the arm of Eva's chair. Please, Miss Eva. We can have sprinkles. Her enthusiasm flowed, pure and untainted by the complications of adulthood. Eva's walls began to crack. She took a deep breath and let the phone ring, each chime an opportunity slipping away, but choosing to stay rooted in the present moment. "Okay," she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "Let us have ice cream." Jack felt a rush of relief. They might still be on shaky ground, but this small compromise, this choice to prioritize human connection over relentless duty, felt monumental. Mia jumped up in excitement. "Yay! I'm going to tell Daddy we're having a party." She danced around the room, the innocent sparkle of her enthusiasm breaking the last shadows of doubt. Jack couldn't help but smile at her joy. Something about the way she breathed life into everything reminded him of better days. Eva watched Mia, a soft smile pulling at her lips. "Okay, let us get the ice cream party started," she said, her voice lightening. "Don't forget the sprinkles," Mia reminded, as she darted towards the door, her resolve to keep the atmosphere buoyant infectious. Jack chuckled and turned back to Eva, whose expression had shifted. "You look different," he remarked gently. "Lighter, almost." She shook her head, a quiet laugh escaping her lips. "It's just ice cream. It can't solve anything." "Maybe not, but it can remind us of what joy feels like," he replied, lighting the spark of hope that buzzed between them. "Do you really think I can find my way back?" Eva asked, vulnerability etched in her gaze. "Yes," Jack said firmly. "You can. But only if you stay present with those you love." Their eyes locked for a moment, and Jack felt it the truth that could reset everything. They were at a crossroads, both yearning for more, both too scared to reach out. Just then, Mia burst back in, her little hands gripping colorful sprinkles. "What flavor do you like, Miss Eva? You have to pick one." A gentle warmth spread through Eva's chest at the sheer risk of joy. She looked between Jack and Mia, the weight of the world lifting just a fraction. Okay," she laughed, unmistakably enamored by Mia's delight. "How about strawberry with lots of sprinkles?" Jack smiled, the tension of earlier seems an ancient echo now. "Sounds perfect." As they began planning their impromptu celebration, Jack felt the threads of connection weaving anew, a sense of rekindling not just between him and Eva, but with the world around them. But just as they set to prepare, the ringing phone cut through the air, insistent once more, demanding attention. Eva hesitated, glancing at it with a mix of frustration and resignation. Jack noted the flicker of fear in her eyes. Would the call drag her back into the life she was trying to break free from? "Maybe it's just some junk call," he suggested softly, his heart pounding. As she stared at the phone, the moment stretched taut with possibilities. Would Eva choose to answer and fall back into her routine? Or would she risk it all, embracing a chance to step into a brighter future, guided by the light of honest connection? The answer hovered in the silence, waiting to be uncovered. Eva's breath hitched as she contemplated the phone, a sort of war raging within her. The thought of unanswered emails and missed opportunities clawed at her mind. It was hard to push back the tide of responsibility that had seemingly become a part of her identity. Yet, here was a moment, a fragile bridge connecting her to joy, laughter, and perhaps, healing. Mia's tiny voice broke the spell of silence. "Miss Eva? You're not gonna answer it, right?" Her wide, earnest eyes searched Eva's face, eager for confirmation that fun would not be interrupted again. With a small smile, Jack stepped in. "If the phone's important, it'll still be there after ice cream, right, Eva?" He wanted to gift her this moment, to acknowledge it as a turning point rather than just another fleeting distraction from her endless responsibilities. Eva bit her lip, glancing at Mia and then back to Jack. His steady gaze felt like an anchor, keeping her from drifting away into the overwhelming sea of expectations. "You're right," she finally said, the tension easing slightly. "Just 10 minutes, for the ice cream. Then I'll check the messages." The relief in Mia's giggle was infectious. "Yay! Party time." They gathered ingredients from the kitchen with newfound energy. Jack pulled out the vibrant tub of strawberry ice cream. Mia clapped her hands in delight, and the sprinkles. She carefully placed all the colorful little containers on the table, a palette of joy ready to be poured onto their delicious creation. As they scooped out the ice cream and layered it up like architects of delight, something inside Eva began to thaw. The chaotic world of deadlines and profit margins was miles away, replaced by the pure, uncomplicated warmth of shared laughter. Jack watched her transform as they worked together, her smile lighting up more than just her face. It seemed to breathe life back into the room, dissolving the weary weight she had carried. For the first time in a long while, he felt like they were building something together, patching the cracks that had formed between them. "Let us make it a masterpiece," Mia declared, pouring sprinkles atop the towering scoops with glee. The vibrant colors exploded onto the ice cream like confetti at a celebration. "Wow, that really is a masterpiece," Jack echoed, watching as Eva picked up a sprinkle bottle, carefully mimicking Mia's enthusiasm. They laughed together, and for a moment, it felt like all the heaviness, all the unspoken words were melted away, replaced by sweetness. But then, out of nowhere, the phone rang again. 3 sharp chimes echoed through the air, slicing through the happiness like an unwelcome intrusion. Mia's expression fell, her excitement chilling. "Miss Eva, answer it." Eva paused, glancing at Jack, who remained silent, holding his breath. The look on his face was a mixture of encouragement and concern. "You can do both, you know," he said softly. "If it's important, they'll understand you need this moment first." What if she answered? What if it was something life-changing? Or what if she ignored it and found the courage to let that part of her life fade, even just for now? She reached for the phone, tremors of uncertainty racing through her fingertips. Just then, Mia pulled at her sleeve. "Miss Eva, please. We need you." The weight of the moment pressed heavily on Eva's shoulders. She wondered what answering could mean in the face of her newfound joy. As uncertainty spun around her like a whirlwind, Eva inhaled deeply, her heart racing as she contemplated the call. Would this decision shape her road forward or lead her back into the shadows? She hovered, teetering on the edge of choice, suddenly aware that the future was waiting, and this was only the beginning. The phone rang again, its tone sharp and demanding. Eva's heart pumped in her chest, a chaotic rhythm of anxiety and desire. As she hovered over the phone, Mia's small hand squeezed her sleeve, grounding her amidst the swirling thoughts. Jack shifted subtly, as if willing her to embrace the moment over the lingering pressures of her responsibilities. Finally, she felt a flicker of resolve. "Okay, let us do this," she murmured, glancing at the two of them. "Let us finish the masterpiece first." "Yay!" Mia cheered, her eyes wide with excitement. Jack nodded, an approving smile lighting up his face. For now, she would live in this tiny bubble of joy, where guilt and obligations floated like clouds far above them. With swift, playful movements, they resumed their decorating. Spinning the sprinkles in midair, Mia laughed, and even Eva felt the warmth of genuine hilarity flow through her. Jack joined in, casting playful glances as he stacked the tallest scoop, a masterpiece that even a professional ice cream maker would envy. "Okay, here we go," Jack said dramatically. 1, 2. He pretended to pause for dramatic effect. 3. They all collapsed into giggles as the scoop precariously tilted but somehow remained intact. "This is way better than adulting," Eva said, her heart feeling a little lighter. The enormity of her job, the deadlines and stress, faded into the background. For these fleeting moments, she was just a woman, motherly instincts merging with her own repressed childhood delight. But just as they scooped the last dollop of ice cream, the phone rang again, a determined push against their revelry. This time, Eva felt the weight of the decision pressing harder against her. "Miss Eva." Mia's voice edged into worry. Her eyes darted between the phone and Eva's face. "What if they need you?" Eva sighed. "Mia, what if they don't?" Jack stepped closer, eyes focused on her. "You can't ignore it forever. But you can allow yourself this moment first." "I know," she replied, her voice softer now, full of longing. "But what does that say about who I am?" A pensive silence fell, the laughter drifting away as they contemplated the reality of choices laid bare before her. She had the power to change her narrative, but was she brave enough to grab onto it? "Eva, you've got this. You can do both," Jack reassured, a genuine warmth wrapping around his words. "Show them the best version of yourself." He didn't say it, but they both knew that whatever lay on the other end of that phone call could alter everything. If she answered, she might be pulled back into a world that needed her, filled with expectations that sometimes felt suffocating. But if she chose to ignore it and embrace this moment, was that not a victory in itself? Mia leaned closer, eyes sparkling as she whipped her hands in excitement. "Can we take a picture? Please?" Eva met Mia's hopeful gaze, and a grin spread across her face. "Sure. Let us capture this masterpiece first. Then I'll check the phone." They gathered around the ice cream creation, laughter bubbling anew, forgetting the world outside for just an instant. As they posed with smiles, something ignited in Eva's heart, a flicker of hope, but as the photo clicked and she looked into the eyes of the toddler's innocence, the phone rang again, the message she'd been avoiding lingered. The future hung in the air, pregnant with potential. What would she choose when they finished capturing this moment? Would she spring into unanswered responsibilities or continue the celebration, temporarily freeing herself from her burdens? As she savored the sweetness of that ice cream and the even sweeter company, she wondered what path awaited her. Would the next step be grounding or liberating? Only time would tell. The ice cream masterpiece stood proudly on the table, a colorful tower of sprinkles, dreams, and laughter. Mia's ecstatic giggle still echoed in the air, but the persistent ring of the phone tugged at Eva's thoughts, reminding her of responsibilities lurking beyond this joyful moment. As they admired the photo, a sense of warmth enveloped Eva. She felt the soft brush of Mia's hair tickling her cheek and the buzz of happiness radiating from Jack. The world outside momentarily vanished. No meetings, no deadlines, just unfiltered joy in their small kitchen paradise. "Let us dig in," Mia proclaimed, clapping her hands, bringing Eva back to the present. The tiny girl's enthusiasm was infectious, and Eva could hardly deny her, especially when her eyes sparkled with pure delight. "Okay, first scoop," Eva announced, grabbing a spoon and plunging it into the towering ice cream. Each bite promised to be an escape, a sweet reprieve from the mounting pressure waiting on the other end of that phone call. Jack took a spoonful too, and they shared a playful look, an understanding passed between them. Here they were, two adults finding childlike joy in something so simple. But as the taste of rich vanilla and tangy strawberries melted on her tongue, Eva felt a twinge of guilt creeping in. That phone call wouldn't wait forever. Part of her wanted to take on the chaos of her work life, to jump into the familiar whirl of urgency and expectations, but another part whispered to bask longer in this moment. "Mia," she said, wiping a smudge of ice cream from the girl's chin, "what if we make a new tradition? Just you and me, scooping ice cream together every week." Mia's eyes widened like saucers. "Really? Just us?" "Absolutely," Eva smiled, her heart swelling at the concept. "Maybe it can be a little escape from our busy lives." Jack chimed in, his tone light yet profound. Every scoop could represent a small victory over whatever's outside. A chance to breathe, to giggle, to live. As they dove into another round of silliness, the phone rang again, louder, cutting sharply through their laughter. Its sharp tone turned Eva's stomach. I really should see who it is," she said reluctantly. "No!" Mia cried out, her voice clear and full of conviction. "You said we'd have our ice cream time. You promised." Eva's heart sank and soared at the same time. How could one small girl's plea so thoroughly grip her? Jack watched her with steady eyes, unyielding support wrapped around his presence. "Okay," she said finally, putting the spoon down. "Let us finish this, and after, I'll answer." The minutes felt both freeing and heavy as they indulged in laughter that painted the kitchen with warmth and light. Little moments piled up, brushstrokes on the canvas of an imperfect day. With every scoop, every shared laugh, she could almost see a different future, one less dominated by phone calls and frantic messages, but as the final scoop vanished, a decision loomed. She could no longer postpone the inevitable. Whether she remained in this happiness or returned to her made-up world of responsibilities was a choice only she could make. Taking a deep breath, Eva felt the power of that moment enveloping her, a chance to redefine herself. Her heart raced, a cocktail of excitement and fear swirling within her. What did that phone hold? Her hand hovered over the device, shaking slightly with uncertainty. What awaited her after that call? Would it be a return to chaos, or something else entirely? With Jack and Mia watching expectantly, she felt the weight of possibilities hanging in the air, a delicate balance between fear and hope waiting to be tipped one way or another. Maybe this is the moment that changes everything, Eva whispered softly to herself. And with a flicker of determination, she pressed the phone to her ear, wondering what truth awaited her on the other end. The moment Eva pressed the phone to her ear, her heart raced. She expected the call to be a jolt back into her old life, filled with meetings and spreadsheets. But instead, a familiar voice flooded her ear, and her breath caught. "Eva, it's me, Lucy. We need to talk." Eva blinked, her world spinning for a beat. Lucy was her longtime mentor and closer than a big sister. But there was urgency in her tone that made Eva's stomach drop. "Is everything okay?" Eva asked, half knowing it wasn't he. "It's about the proposal you submitted. There's been some unexpected developments." "Unexpected?" Eva echoed, a chill creeping in. She thought of the sleepless nights spent perfecting that proposal, the late afternoons filled with coffee and determination. "It's complicated. Can you meet me at the Blue Room? I'll explain everything." The Blue Room was a swanky venue, a spot where dreams mingled with cocktails. It felt worlds away from the cozy haven of her kitchen, where sprinkles and laughter still lingered. "I can't, not right now," Eva replied, torn. She glanced at Jack and Mia. The remnants of their ice cream party lay scattered on the table, a stark contrast to the maze of anxiety unfolding in her mind. "I'm with my family." "Eva, this is important." "I wouldn't ask if it wasn't critical," Lucy pressed. The sincerity in her voice pushed against the wall of Eva's hesitation. "Can't it wait?" She searched for an excuse, anything to avoid the pull of reality. "It might not." Lucy's voice softened. "There could be a huge opportunity for you here, but only if you act fast." The word opportunity hung in the air, the glimmer of promise sparking a longing deep in Eva's gut. She wanted this to be recognized, to shine. But what about Mia? What about the new plans she'd just woven into the fabric of their lives? Eva felt the tug-of-war inside her heart. Should she chase this fleeting chance or stay anchored to the joy surrounding her? Jack watched her closely, his brow furrowed, as if sensing the internal struggle. "You should go," he said quietly, his voice steady and warm. "You've worked too hard for any opportunity to pass you by. But just know, we'll always be here waiting for you." Mia, unaware of the deeper implications, blurted, "Can we have ice cream again when you come back?" A soft smile broke through Eva's uncertainty. "Of course, sweetheart. Ice cream is a promise now." With one last glance at her family, she gripped the phone tighter. "Okay, Lucy. I'll be there." "Good choice," Lucy said, relief mixing with excitement. "I'll see you soon." As she hung up, a wave of emotions surged within her. She had made a decision, but clarity eluded her. Turning to Jack and Mia, she felt a surge of love mingling with dread. "I need to go, but you'll be back." "Just like you promised," Mia chimed in, her face a mix of innocence and hope. Taking a deep breath, Eva stepped toward the door, each step pulling her further from the comfort of their home and closer to the swirling unknown. The moment she closed the door behind her, doubt sneaked in. What if this call, this promise of opportunity, meant leaving something precious behind? As she slid into her car, she glanced in the rearview mirror, catching a glimpse of Mia's small hands waving goodbye. The weight of her life shifted. A new chapter was calling, but at what cost? What would she find waiting for her at the Blue Room? Would it be a path of dreams, or a test of her commitments? As the engine rumbled to life, Eva's heart raced once more. The streets blurred past as Eva drove, her thoughts racing faster than the city lights. Each stoplight felt like a countdown, reminding her of the time she was stealing from her family. The weight in her chest grew heavier with every second. She took a deep breath, focusing on the familiar route. Memories of late-night brainstorming sessions with Jack surfaced, filled with laughter and ideas that had morphed into their shared dream. Would this new opportunity tear them apart? Or could it bridge the gap to something even greater? As she arrived at the Blue Room, the ambience wrapped around her like a silk shawl, luxurious, yet daunting. The elegant facade shimmered under the city's glow, as if beckoning her to step inside. Swallowing her doubts, she parked and made her way to the entrance. Inside, the hum of conversation mingled with clinking glasses and laughter. She searched the crowd for Lucy, her mentor's face a beacon of familiarity. After a moment, she spotted her, motioning with an anxious wave from a corner table. "Eva!" Lucy called as she stood up, relief washing over her features. But beneath that, Eva detected a hint of concern. "Hey," Eva managed, sliding into the seat opposite her. "What is going on? You sounded urgent." Lucy leaned in, her voice low. "I had to tell you in person. There's been a shift in the project you pitched." "What kind of shift?" Eva asked, heart racing. Lucy hesitated, then met her gaze with a level of seriousness that pierced through the room's chatter. "The company that was considering your proposal had a sudden change at the top. There's a new CEO, and they're looking to revamp everything." Eva felt her breath hitch. "Does that mean I lost the chance?" "No, it's just different now," Lucy replied quickly. "The new CEO is looking for fresh ideas and perspectives. They want someone with your unique background." Eva frowned, confusion washing over her. "What do you mean? Why would they want me? I'm just me." "Exactly. That's your strength. They want someone who understands everyday life, someone relatable." Lucy's eyes sparkled with excitement. "This could be huge, but only if you're ready. They move fast." Eva's mind spun. The prospect was enormous, but doubt crept in again. "I don't know if I can leave my family, my new life." Lucy leaned back, assessing her with concern but also with a challenge in her gaze. "It's not about leaving them behind, Eva. It's about building a future, one that includes them. You could set a precedent for working women, showing that you can balance family and ambition. Think of the impact." The words sparked a flicker of courage within her. Yet another question emerged, rooted in the safety of her heart. But what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? "Failure is part of success," Lucy said gently, reaching across the table. "The fear of failure can't stop you from trying. You'll always have your family waiting with open arms." Eva took a moment, absorbing Lucy's words like they were an anchor in her stormy sea of thoughts. But beneath that, both excitement and fear warred in her chest. This was her moment, a chance to stake her claim in a world she once thought had passed her by. "Okay," she said finally, a small smile breaking through. "I'll do it." "Fantastic." Lucy beamed, and in that moment, Eva felt buoyed by energy, a conviction that she wasn't just chasing a dream, she was embracing power. But then, as they discussed further details, Eva felt that familiar pang again, the tightness of leaving behind her precious moments with Mia and Jack. Would they understand and support her in this? And the deeper question nagged, was she brave enough to dive into the unknown? As Eva left the Blue Room, her mind teetered on the precipice of new heights, the thrill of possibility electrifying the air. But that nagging sense of what awaited her at home lingered heavily. She stepped outside and took a breath of the cool night air, her thoughts swirling like the autumn leaves around her. The night had turned into an open canvas, filled with color and doubt. As she drove away, anticipation coursed through her veins. But with it came the realization that this adventure would test everything she believed in. What if her decision to chase this dream came with unforeseen consequences? Would she tear down everything she was building in her personal life or transform it into something richer? The answers lay ahead, shrouded in the mystery of choices yet to be made. The journey was just beginning, and Eva had to ask herself, could she truly balance both worlds, or would one side inevitably suffer? Eva pulled into the familiar driveway, her heart pounding. The warmth of home wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, but the exhilaration of the night's revelation churned inside. She had made a choice, one that could pave a new path, yet doubts whispered at the edges of her mind like leaves rustling in the wind. As she stepped inside, the smell of cooking filled the air. Jack was in the kitchen, his hands skillfully chopping vegetables while Mia buzzed around the living room, still recovering from the impromptu ice cream party. They were an anchor in her ebb and flow of uncertainty, yet what she had to share felt monumental. "Hey, you're back." Jack looked up, his expression brightening with warmth. "How did it go?" Eva paused, searching for the right words. She could see Jack's hopeful eyes, reflecting trust and support, and a tendril of that ancient fear snaked its way back. "It was big, Jack. I have a chance to do something, a real opportunity." Mia came bouncing over, her hair tousled, and her cheeks rosy. "Did you have fun at your meeting, Miss Eva?" Eva knelt down to meet her gaze, taking in the pure innocence glimmering in Mia's blue eyes. "I did, sweetheart. I really did. But..." She hesitated, unsure how to proceed. "What kind of something?" Jack prompted gently, stepping closer, his presence reassuring and steady. Eva inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of her ambition clash with her fears. "They want me to head a project revamping things in the company. It's a huge deal. But it means travel, late nights, all that stuff I thought I could manage." Mia's eyes widened with curiosity. "That's exciting. You can be like a superhero at work, right?" Jack chuckled, the laughter lightening the atmosphere. "Yes, but every superhero needs to figure out their balance. I think that's what Eva's struggling with." Eva shot Jack a grateful glance. "I don't want to rush things with you guys. I want to be there for every scoop and sprinkle, and I'm scared I'll still let you down." "Wait. But I want to help," Mia exclaimed, her little hands on her hips. "Maybe you can work and come back for ice cream?" The concept bubbled inside Eva. Maybe it was that simple? "You're right, Mia. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. I can build this new path with you both as part of my journey." Jack reached out, tucking a curl behind Mia's ear. "Eva, we can make this work. If you believe in it, we believe in you." With newfound determination, inspired by the innocence and love of her daughter, Eva straightened, her heart swelling to fill the space that once felt paralyzed by uncertainty. "Then let us make a plan. I'll take this chance, but I promise to stay present. I want to create a life that includes both my career and my family." Their embrace felt electric, the bond grounding her like roots beneath the soil. As they stood together, the warmth of connection blossomed, a cocoon of support amidst the changes swirling outside their door. "Mia, let us start planning our ice cream night," Eva said, excitement bursting through. "We'll have to find special, maybe even adventurous flavors. Cookies and cream," Mia exclaimed, bouncing on her toes. "And maybe, like gummy worms?" Jack laughed again, nodding along. "Sure. Why not? Let us make it a celebration of your new adventure." In their kitchen, filled with laughter and love, the pressure of past fears began to dissipate. Eva felt invigorated not as a CEO burdened with expectations, but as a mother, a woman finding her way through both burdens and wonders. As the evening light dimmed and shadows danced in the corners of their home, the vibrant future crackled with possibilities. The superhero within her wasn't just about climbing corporate ladders but weaving a life stitched with joy and togetherness. In that moment, surrounded by family, Eva knew they would face the future as a team. And as she tucked Mia into bed later that night, she whispered a promise, not just to herself but to them both. "I won't lose sight of us." Together, they would navigate the challenges ahead, with laughter lighting the way. Each scoop, each sprinkle would become a stepping stone toward a life full of dreams, family, and connection. This wasn't just a new beginning, it was a shared adventure waiting to unfold, and as they fell asleep, one certainty remained: love was the tie that would hold them all together, creating a story worth sharing. Now, if you love this journey of transformation, you need to subscribe right this moment to not miss out on the next exclusive stories. Give that like button a smash now to help us keep this community alive. Leave your thoughts and feelings in the comments, your voice matters. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who could use a heartwarming tale today. Let's spread the love together.